Okay, we're in Detroit. You're gonna come with me on a scan of the community. That's what we do to keep people safe here in Detroit. And right here, you can see we are at Strathcona, Woodston, and 7 Mile. 7 Mile is a street. It's considered one of the most dangerous streets in Detroit. And Detroit is one of the most dangerous cities in the United States. And we keep people safe here, family. This is the vehicle we're going to be in today. Hummer H2 SUT. Members can make comments. Please join our membership so we can address any questions you may have. We have multiple cameras on the vehicle so we can see with night vision around the vehicle. Alright, so you're going to see how we scan the community and make it safe. We've been in these communities for 13 years directly, and we've also been protecting families and communities for the past 28 years. This is 7 Mile. And on this street we have stopped abductions. I had to pull a female out of a vehicle. She was being beaten and tortured by an ex-boyfriend who had abducted her and was attempting to take her somewhere to kill her. She escaped the vehicle and he was able to get her back into the vehicle. And I was called by residents in the community after they called police. We require all residents to call police before they call us. And typically our response time is under 5 minutes. When we're driving through the community, we're not looking for people breaking the law. That's police. We have police to do that. We are looking for direct threats to people's safety, to families. We're looking for people that would be hunting families. We're specifically looking for people that are trying to sneak into their homes or trying to harm their property. The main thing we focus on is keeping the families alive and safe. And this is called preventive threat management. That's what we call our training system, and that's what we call our actual functional purpose. We prevent threats through management. So our goal is not to capture, cage, and or kill criminals. Our goal is to prevent the conditions which leads to criminal predation. We don't want predators in the community. So what I'm doing first is I'm starting off by circling the community. I'm on the perimeter of the community now. The goal here is to make sure that criminals know that this community is protected. So we're driving on the perimeter of the community first, and then we drive all the streets. We also respond to any calls they have for assistance, anything they think is a threat. And our goal when we get there is to get them away from the families, not to see if we can build a case or see if they've committed crimes. Our goal is to make sure they don't commit the crimes in the first place. And our system is very successful as a result of our system. People live safely. Our communities are safe. Our families are happy, having a good quality of life. We're driving through the community. We're looking for threats, or we're listening for threats as well. So screaming, yelling, sounds of someone's breaking into someone's home. These are the things we're listening for, as well as fire and medical emergencies as well. We help with all situations related to keeping people alive and safe. We are a private agency, private company. I started the company 28 years ago. And I started the company because I thought families needed safety, prevention. They needed preventive. Safety needed protection. And our goal is to take the same system to other countries, so that people can have safety wherever they live in the world. The same way we do it here, we can do it there. Creating safety safely. Now this is live, so these are real inner city streets and situations. So you never know what you're gonna see. We're looking for people sitting in vehicles, people hiding, people also in need of assistance. And we don't care if they are residents or visitors or just total strangers. Our goal is to make sure that nobody suffers. So anybody who needs help, we help them regardless of whether they are a paying client or not. We help them under all conditions. And if you're out here in the dark in a city or in a rural community, it is imperative that you have skills, because if you do not have skills and you come across violent just like the other people, they got victimized. So good intentions don't matter when it comes to managing violent criminal intent. You have to have skill set. That means you have to understand how to defend yourself and others. You have to understand psychology so you can read body language. If you can't read body language, you cannot understand what a real threat is versus a false threat. You cannot read conditions. You cannot read situations properly, so you're going to make false positives. And that means you're going to make mistakes that can cost you your life or the lives of others. You're driving through, you're looking in the bushes, but you're also looking in the windows. Sometimes people can be in distress. It could be a medical situation, or it could be a crime-related situation. It's also imperative that when you are driving around, when you are scanning the community, when you are deterring, detecting, and defending, which is what we do in terms of the actions we're taking. We don't patrol, we scan. When we're scanning, we're listening and looking for anything that is anomalies, any anomalies that must be addressed. So that's could be something where you think someone's sitting on the ground, or someone is sitting in a bush, or in an area where that's not normal. You need to check it. You need to verify that a person doesn't need help. And you need to verify if that person lives there or not, or if they are authorized to be on private property. It's also imperative that when you come across an individual or group, that you don't think negative. You think of positive, neutral, and possibly negative, but don't just think negative. So if you see someone standing next to a car, you see someone walking, running, you think of a positive reason this is happening, a neutral reason, and a negative reason. So you're aware of all three options, but don't just think negative. And that's where people make mistakes, and that's how people end up getting injured and or killed, is because they do not have critical thinking as it relates to their safety and the safety of others. So they begin to think negatively when they see something out of the ordinary. And you really want to avoid that. Remember, it could be something positive that you're looking at, something neutral. It means it's not positive or negative, it's just something it just happens to be happening, or something negative. An example of that is if you see someone are laying on the ground, you shouldn't think that that person is doing something negative. You should think of a positive reason for laying on the ground. They could be tired. A neutral reason is they're just feeling like sitting on the ground. A negative reason is they're on the ground because they are plot, or they've already been. They could be a criminal laying in wait to harm someone. So you have to have all three of those options when you address the issue, when you talk to the person. And when you talk to them, you should talk to them in a positive way. Because if you're negative and you talk to people, they're going to mirror back at you with negativity. So if you think someone is strange in your neighborhood or someplace you're at, make sure that you don't address them in a negative way, because if you address someone in aggressive tones and you say, what are you doing here? Or what are you, who are you? Well, they're naturally going to be defensive, and they may respond aggressively towards you, and it was completely avoidable. And they're not a criminal. They're not doing anything wrong. But because they feel disrespected, the person may respond aggressively. So whenever you approach someone or you believe someone is inappropriate in your community, it's best to first and foremost call police so they can come and verify that this person is inappropriate in a position where they're possibly a threat to your family or your community. Then you talk to them in a positive way. You don't have to be negative. You don't have to be aggressive. You also don't have to be intrusive. So if you want to know what someone's doing, you don't have to ask them what they're doing. You just simply talk to them, and they'll begin to share with you. 9 times out of 10, as you share, they'll share. And you basically can say, hey, I'm visiting my cousins here, and the truth is you live there. But when you're talking to them, you're building a pathway to communicate with them, and as they communicate with you, you're going to be learning more information about that person, and in a non-offensive way, non-aggressive way. And as a result, you can create positive communication. If they are criminal, and the fact that you showed no fear is going to make them want to leave anyway. Because one of the things that criminals want to do, violent criminals want to not be detected. They don't want to have contact with people unless they're trying to victimize someone randomly, which is rare but does happen. So that's why it's best not to approach someone strange in the first place if you can help it, and call your local authorities to verify the person if you believe there's some kind of threat in your community. But if you do want to address it yourself, make sure you do so in a positive way, creating a positive communication path with the person so you don't create an adversarial response. When you are looking, you should be looking in the bushes, you should be looking in the driveways, you should be looking for people in distress in windows. And you should also be listening for signs of distress. Periodically, if you are scanning your community for threats to protect your community, you should turn your car off and sit still so you can hear. Again, this is Detroit, Michigan. And this is where we protect families and communities and corporations for the past 28 years. This particular community, we've been here for 12 years. We stopped all the crimes. There were home invasions, other kinds of crimes. And just across the street from this community, a federal judge was shot. We have judges that live in our communities that we protect, and none of them have encountered violence. And the reason why our families don't encounter violence is because we prevent the violence from occurring. We prevent the opportunity. is where we're currently located. As you can see, it shows crimes. And those crimes, the latest crimes are from 2020. Very old. We receive calls 20 or conditions where people just want someone to. We have senior citizens here, families that just want to make sure they're safe. So we make sure that they are able to live safely. And that is the reason for our training. And so for 28 years, we've been able to use our training to keep people alive and safe. So all of our team members are alive. We've had over 3,500 team members in the past 28 years. We currently protect approximately 5,000 families here in Detroit. And our goal is to expand. We're a private corporation, a private organization. We protect working class people and poor people that can't afford services for free if their life is in danger. We've done that for 28 years. So just because someone cannot afford services doesn't mean that they can't receive excellent protection if their life is in danger. Victims by prosecutors' offices, shelters, police advocates, sometimes police officers will direct witnesses and victims of crime to contact us for assistance. And we assist them as needed based on their situation. So we assist domestic violence victims for free, crime witnesses for free, and these are often just either single moms or senior citizens, in some cases entire families, and they're just in danger and there's no protection to keep them alive and safe. And that's what we need to work on. I think as a society, we need to have, protection, something that we can have for everyone, not just situations where you're turning state's evidence or something. Unit that protects crime, for example. The attackers want to keep us for some reason. It's really strange, but makes no sense. But we keep them alive anyway. We don't care what the circumstances are. We just make sure that the violent criminals cannot kill the people they intend to kill. And so right now I'm in the northern part of Detroit. I'm on 7 Mile Woodward area between Livernois and 7 Mile, and Woodward and Livernois. And as we drive through the neighborhood, we're looking for anyone that could potentially be a threat to the community, or anyone that is in need of assistance. They could be lost. They could be injured. We have dimensions that wander in the community. Sometimes they live in the community and they become disoriented and they're outside of their home. We make sure that the family members are safely back at their home. Because we are proactive, the violent criminals do not want to come around our communities. They want to stay out. One of our strategies is that we drive blacked out vehicles with white strobe lights, and we drive around with our strobe lights on at all times. And the reason we do that is because we want the criminals to stay away from the families, to stay out of the community. When they see the lights, they stay away from us. They believe we're looking for them, and we're driving slow enough that they believe we're looking directly for them. So they're paranoid and they don't want to be in the community. And that's our goal, is to make sure that the families are safe and the criminals stay out. In the past 28 years, none of our team members have died. We've been through a lot of violence, so we had to deal with a lot of gangs, and we never lost a force-on-force conflict with any gang or individual. And we deal with a lot of mentally challenged people, special needs. Apologize for the drop signal. This is certain areas, certain parts of the communities don't have good signal. So sometimes the signal will drop, but we will reconnect. Now, in order to be out here, you've got to have knowledge and skill, because it is definitely dangerous. So you really don't see people out here at all. If you notice, you don't see other vehicles, you don't see anyone out here normally. It is not safe. In general, we make it safe, but in general, people don't want to be out late at night in Detroit unless they have to be. Special events or something, coming in and out of town or something. But you notice there's no other form of protection out here in the communities, driving around the communities. It's very rare. So instead of complaining that there's not a lack of safety, what I did was create an organization that specialized in protection versus prosecution. So our goal is to make sure that people stay alive and safe. We're not here to focus on the criminals. We're here to focus on the families. When we come across people that are a threat to the families, our goal is to simply get the threat away from the family. As you look, you can see that there's a lot of dark areas. We have night vision that we use also as well. Our camera systems are night vision. This is a night vision camera mounted on top of the vehicle. That camera is looking at the side here. you can see everything bright. And it gives the speed. I'm traveling 4 miles per hour. Most violent crimes take place between 3 and 5 in the morning. That's when the home invaders come out. And the reason why they come out between 3 to 5 a.m. is because that's when most people are in REM sleep. And that's when the least number of law enforcement officers are available. And when law enforcement officers are out at this time, they're usually dealing with shootings or something already. So there's the most violent crimes are taking place between 3 to 5 a.m. There's less police to respond. And when they do respond, there's even less for police to respond to other situations. And the violent criminals know that. If anyone wants to make comments, you can do so. If you have any questions, and I'm going to open it up for non-members to ask questions. I'll try to do that now. Tom G. Khalil. I don't have any partners. I'm an employer. I have employees. I have team members. I employ them. Motor City Maniac, 6 Mile. Donald Duck asks how many home intruders are there per week and per month. In our communities, there are none. But outside of our communities, there's quite a few. There's unknown numbers. It's a lot. Thank you, Jay. That's right. Drunk drivers are out. We see lots of crashes, and we've been in none of them. We've been very, very fortunate. None of our team members have been crashed into as well. Not by any drunk drivers. There's been some deaths on the perimeter of our communities. Some horrible situations. Underground Artwork, thank you for the support. not bad for me to hold the phone. No, Tom. We hold lots of equipment while we're driving as needed at 5 miles an hour or lower, sometimes faster. We've had lots of contact with law enforcement over the years because there used to be a lot of crime. And as we intensified our efforts, we were able to stop those crimes. But we still have probably some type of weekly or bi-weekly contact because there's some type of situation involving some type of law-related situation. So everything that deals with enforcement of law is definitely something that we need to contact police for. So, for example, when we take people into custody that are mentally challenged or that are violent criminals that have done a crime or were doing something that could be have that person and that is exactly what we want to do. We don't want to be the people that transport them to the hospital and take responsibility for them. We want to have the government agency come and secure the person and take the witness statements or whatever is going to be done for court, and then they're going to take the person and prosecute them if necessary, or in most cases, in our situations, because we're there so quickly, we're able to stop something from becoming a prosecutable situation, and they usually take them to the hospital instead. You can give thanks on this channel. There's that way to donate if you'd like to. We are a for-profit agency that we don't have any government funding. We don't have any donations normally. We use sweat equity. I started 28 years ago with a dog and a rifle, stopping home invasions and murders on the east side of Detroit. And because I'm able to successfully stop violent criminals and create safety safely, I was able to build a business as a result. The business is based upon not allowing criminals to exploit families and not creating lawsuits, not violating people's rights and not injuring people. Yes, we work for the community here. So the homeowner association hires us to protect their community for the past 13 years in this community. We're in multiple communities throughout Detroit, and wherever we see people that need help in Detroit, we help them regardless of whether they're in our community, that a paying client or not. And so we don't care if they're someone we work for. If they need help, we help them. Yes, we're a actual for-profit corporation. This is our security division, corporate structure. And then we have a school. And what you're seeing in Detroit Dust is the school aspect of training that's for general training. And then we have specific training programs for law enforcement, for security, for school teachers, for kids programs. But you're going to see more of the kids programs coming up. Yes, the homeowner association hired us for the past 13 years in this particular community. If we see a crime being committed, we immediately call 911 and we immediately engage if necessary to preserve life. And if it's not necessary to preserve life, then we do not engage. So we do not create conflict over property. We're not going to fight, get killed, or kill people over property. We just don't do that. Although we have had countless occasions where we've encountered car thieves and people attempting to steal tires or rims off cars. And what we do is, as we approach and we stay at a safe distance, our vehicles are so intimidating, and our presence and the way we look, that they run and flee immediately anyway. And what we do is do not chase, because we don't want to create contact. We don't want to create conflict. And as a result, the violent criminals and the car thieves that are not violent towards people, but they do steal vehicles, those people also left our communities as well, because they saw that we will engage, we will come close enough to them that they will feel intimidated, but we will not physically put our hands on them for touching cars or trying to steal a car. We're just not going to do that. That's just not what we believe in. But we will physically, and have physically had to put our hands on people, had to take them down and take them into custody, and have had extreme violence with individuals and gangs over the years, because we had to, in order to preserve our lives, or more importantly, the lives of others. So we've had a lot of violence to learn from over the past 28 years. Indo, Detroit, what up, though? Indo, living for a sense of gratification. Well, what we do is, as an organization, we take pride in keeping people alive and safe. And so I created an organization from that based on altruism. The money came later. There was no money for many years. Lots of suffering financially and lots of suffering physically, lots of injuries. And that's just part of what happens when you engage in stopping violent people from being violent towards others. There's going to be injuries. And it's so interesting to see people that think you can outrun someone with a knife or a gun when there's intent. And in protection, we're protecting families. We can't run, we can't leave them. And these are people we don't know typically that are in danger. And quite often, the people that are most danger are someone that we don't work for, they just happen to be in the area. I had to stop a female from being abducted by her ex-boyfriend, and they don't even live in our community. They just pulled off the road because she fought her way free. And as the community started to call the police repeatedly, and then called me as well, there were lots of residents calling police and calling us as well simultaneously. And we always make our clients call police first. The police did arrive after I got the female out of the vehicle. You can find that video footage on our YouTube channel. The police did arrive relatively quickly. They got there about 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes after I got there. And they were able to take her to the hospital. And they later went and prosecuted the man, which you can see on the video, as I got him to leave. And I took the female into my vehicle. Yes, we always call for backup on all situations, but we don't have time to wait often. So you just have to do what you have to do, and that's where our training comes in. Because situations of violence and critical situations, they're exigent. So there's exigent circumstances that dictate our actions. If there is no exigency, if there's no immediate need to engage, then we don't, and we would wait. So, for example, if we have a situation where someone is not doing something violent right now, they're standing there, they're waiting in the car, whatever they're doing, we're not going to engage. We're going to let the police come and begin the process of determining what laws they want to enforce. But if that person were to get out of the vehicle, or when situations where they've gotten into a position where they're going to attack people, including in vehicles, we have had to physically intervene, either using our vehicles or extracting them, or physically putting our hands on them to stop them from doing something to someone else, including disarming them. Yes, we, as an organization, we are protectors. So for us, danger is just part of the reason why we're here, is to make sure that somebody is here to protect those that are most in danger. And if we have to get injured and or killed, then that's what we signed up for. And that's one of the things that is vital when looking for good team members, is you have to find people that care about people. We look at people as family. So when we're driving around, we're not driving around looking to do duty. We're driving around looking to protect families just like they were our family, our own family. And my cousins actually live in these neighborhoods, and my distant relatives, and anyway, but even if they didn't, I still would look at everyone as family. And that's what we do in every community. Even in country towns, we help people in. We have a very strict, structured organization. Everything that you do is tracked. These camera systems in our vehicles show inside the vehicle as well as outside the vehicle, and there's audio, and it's cellular. So we listen in and see in the vehicles of our team members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there's no way our team members can be abusive or inappropriate towards people. And we train every week. So if we find someone has a wrong attitude or inappropriate attitude, if we feel that they cannot change, then they are terminated. We don't have seniority as a rule. It's performance only. We have no complaints against us, no lawsuits, no deaths. And more importantly, none of the people we've protected have been killed. In our past 28 years, 6 of our team members have been shot. All of our team members are alive because we stabilized our wounded and transported to level 1 trauma hospitals. The wounds we sustained were severe and significant. For from AK-47s, 9mm that are hollow points, and our team members were shot in multiple places on multiple occasions. And as a result of our training, they were not killed. So we stabilized their wounds. We didn't just wait. And that's the same thing we've done for other people that have been shot. Hey, cuz. Cameron. You remember these streets out here? We make it safe. We don't stay safe, we make it safe. Talent. I'm able to look and read simultaneously. Yes, I'm paid by residents, not by the city. We're paid by the residents. We also have a program for individual homeowners or renters, and that's $10 a month and $10 per call. So we make it very affordable for people. So you don't have to live in a upscale community that has a homeowner association. You can live in a regular neighborhood and just have a small house or even an apartment, and you can still get a contract with us. And again, we protect people for free that can't afford services. So if there's someone whose life's in danger, ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, a stranger, neighbor, someone that wants to kill someone, we protect those people for free. We also train them and their children for free. Do I use my personal company, my company truck, or my personal